I don't think you can ever find the right person to have kids with because people change after you give birth. I know from experience, like my child's father and I, we were really close, like twins, until we had a kid. It went opposite. Maybe I should date the person for like 5 years, but I'm thinking like 8 to 10 years. Let's see if we can do a decade before we get married because we're not breaking up.
So many women don't talk about what happened after having a baby. Not because it didn't hurt, but because they were just too ashamed to admit that the real pain really didn't come from the labor and delivery. It came from the partner who changed after. They thought that a baby would bring them closer. Instead, it exposed everything that was broken. This isn't just about postpartum. This is about the betrayal, about the silence, about the emotional abandonment. Hey, Rych Babes, it's Robin Milan, and welcome back to A Rich Girl's Glow Up. Hey, so today, we are going to be talking about something. Get your tissue if you have ever been in a situation where your postpartum was not as supportive as you had expected to be. What you are about to see are real women, real stories, and different circumstances, but they all have one thing in common. They gave birth and they found themselves more alone than ever. And behind those clips, the deeper story, the psychological one. So we're going to break it all down. First, I'm going to show you all 3 clips, and afterwards, I'll come back at the end. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And trigger warning to anybody, okay? Just trigger warning. Get your tissue if you need to, if you are easily triggered. All right, see you soon.
Never look like shit, bro. Would you hurry up? You doing all that for what? Ain't shit gonna change, bro. Ever since you had this baby, bro. Ever since this baby right here, you ain't been looking like shit at all. Nothing. What is doing your hair gonna change? Huh?
I can do my fucking hair if I want to. You always act like I can't get...
That's not it. It's not it. It's not it, bro.
You act like I can't take my time to get myself together.
It's not looking like nothing at all. It's over with. Like, why did you try your hardest? You've been in the bathroom 4 damn hours for no reason.
Okay, because I had to get in the shower.
Done.
I had to get in the shower.
Shit done at all, man.
Okay.
Well,
But that's how you feel.
go.
But that's how you feel.
Come on, man. Ever since you had this baby, he's been looking like nothing, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
So that mean that mean I can't try to do something?
No, that mean come the fuck on. Fuck is you talking about, bro? Taking all damn day.
Okay.
You finna make me crash the fuck out, bro. Cause come on, man. You're not doing shit. You just stay combing your hair. Let's go.
Yes, because I have to get it combed out before I get any product in it.
Man. That's how you be playing around in your hair. You playing around in your hair and shit, bro.
Just got out the fucking shower.
Playing around. Ain't got shit done. You look a hot mess, gang. A hot mess.
I wish I would have known who you was for real before I got pregnant.
I don't give a damn. I'm just keeping it real. That shit look a hot mess.
You're not keeping it real. Your ass did not act like this when we had that first baby. Now I'm whatever.
And we're gonna be late as hell fucking around with you, man. Fucking around.
Yo, this young lady got on this app and said that 5 days after delivering her daughter, her husband began to pressure her to have schmecks. Not only did he pressure her to have schmecks, he threatened to cheat on her. Or he implied it, rather. She said she was afraid that he would cheat on her. So 5 days after delivering a baby from her hoo-ha, she had schmecks with her husband. She had to be rushed to the hospital and have emergency surgery. During said emergency surgery, she went into cardiac arrest. This lady almost lost her life. And I know shit like this has been happening since the beginning of time. You know, social media has brought awareness to things that, we don't think about, things that, you haven't experienced, or, you don't know anybody who's experienced this. We know that this has been going on since the beginning of time. But when she said she did it because she feared that he would cheat on her, can we normalize this, telling these men, ho, go cheat? Go ahead, bye, ho. Because for him to even imply that tells me, one, baby girl, he probably already been cheating on you. Two, for you to be so pressured, or to be pressured rather, to have schmacks, knowing you just gave birth. Anybody who has given birth through their hoo-ha, y'all know what's going on down there after giving birth. Y'all know it looks like a crime scene down there. I can't see how anybody would be turned on by that. But there are monsters among us. Let's be real clear about that. That there are monsters among us. This child damn near lost her life trying to please her husband. And when they showed her getting out of the hospital bed with all these monitors and stuff like that, like all those monitors on her, you could tell this child was in excruciating pain.
I just gave birth to our baby a week ago, and he followed me into the shower and started pointing at me while I'm standing there naked, screaming at me and telling me that I am fat and I need to lose weight and not have my stomach poke out like that.
Ladies, I'm going to say this as clearly as I can. If your husband calls you fat and disgusting after you carried and delivered his child, he's not a man.
So I went in the shower and got in, and I have our 1-week-old baby sitting in his bouncer, and he followed me into the shower, and pulled back the curtain and just stood there and screamed at me, pointing at me and saying that I was fat and I needed to lose weight, and if I wasn't going to do that I should tell him what to do. And
a real man loves harder after birth.
Come on, Cap.
A real man tells you you're beautiful when you feel broken.
Preach.
A real man will run you a bath when you ain't showered in days.
So, oh my goodness, you guys already seen the 3 clips. It was already hard to watch, but if you made it to this point, we're done with the clips. So let me start with this. Giving birth is not just physical, it is emotional, it is spiritual, it is a complete rewiring of a woman's identity. And yet somehow we live in a world where a woman can push life into existence and still be treated like she is disposable. Why does this actually happen? Why do so many men turn cold and distant or even cruel right after their partner gives birth? So let's get right into the real psychology behind all of this. The first one I want to point out is the narcissistic wounds and loss of control, right? The narcissistic partner doesn't celebrate the new life. They see it as a threat. Why? Because your attention isn't solely on them anymore. The baby disrupts the dynamic. So now you're tired. Now you're focused on the recovery. Now they're no longer your top priority. To the narcissist, that feels like abandonment, okay? So what do? They punish you for it. They don't like that. They withhold affection. They make cutting remarks about your body. They create arguments out of nowhere. And they do it under the gaze of, quote unquote, I needed you, right? But really, it was about control. The narcissistic partner feels entitled to your energy, even when you have none left to give. The next concept I want to point out is the Madonna whore complex. Okay, have you heard about this complex? This is crazy. The Madonna whore complex. This outdated toxic framework still lives in the minds of so many men. You're either the sexual object or the mother, but you cannot be both. So when you do become a mother, some men stop seeing you as desirable, not because you changed, but because their perception did. So instead of adopting and deepening their love, they reduce you. They start to withhold intimacy or demanding it in violence, right? Because in their mind, the woman who gave birth isn't quote unquote fun anymore. But you know what she is. She's exhausted. She's vulnerable. She's hormonal. She's healing. And that should be honored, not weaponized. Another concept step I want to bring out is the emotional immaturity and the entitlement. Most men were never taught emotional labor. They weren't raised to serve. They were raised to be served, okay? So when a woman gives birth and needs support, they resent it. They feel burdened by the very thing they helped create. They don't understand postpartum depression. They mock your mood swings. They expect you to just bounce back, even when you are still bleeding, okay? Like, listen, you be bleeding for a whole month. I know that because I had 5 myself. So this isn't just selfish. It is a form of emotional abandonment, because the truth is a man who genuinely loves you will protect your softness. He won't be disgusted by your stretch marks. He'll kiss them. He won't demand your body. He'll guard it while it is healing, okay? So another thing I want us to talk about is the postpartum abuse is real, but it's also underrated. Postpartum abuse doesn't always look like bruises. Sometimes it sounds like, you're just being hormonal. Why do you look like that, right? If you don't have sex with me, I'll cheat. And it's not that hard to be a mom. Or you just had a baby, like it's not a big deal. Or, it's natural for women to have a baby, so, women do it all the time, so it's not a big deal. Or this is your 3rd or your 4th baby, so you should be used to it by now. Like, what? It is the subtle emotional attacks that slowly make a new mother feel insane. Like, it's the gaslighting that erase her pain, and it also is the shame that keeps her from asking for more help. And the worst part is that society actually normalized it. They bash moms for fucking being a mother already. They bash moms for everything. I think that I feel like I was never prepared for. Not just for being a mother, but also how society also treats mothers, single mothers, or mothers in general. So it's really something how you can really bring life into this world and you are deemed the bottom of the barrel for that. Okay. But people say that, well, at least he stayed. But staying while mistreating you is not a gift. It is a trap. So, are we really going to sit up here and be happy that just because there's a man in the house, it seems as though everything's all right? Because behind those closed doors, there's always a story to tell. The next thing I would like to talk about is postpartum is when the mask falls. People can pretend during a pregnancy, okay? They can be posting the maternity shoots, photo shoots. They can hold your hand at the baby shower, but the postpartum, that's the real version of your partner showing up. Like, will he change the diapers? Will he bring you food? Will he protect your peace while you are recovering? Or will he shame your body? Will he demand sex, right? Will he tell you you're not attractive anymore? Like, this is when the performance ends and the truth actually begins. And we've seen it so many times of why couples break up after they have a baby, because honestly, the illusions fall off, right? She said she's not attractive anymore. I don't want her anymore. Now she has to deal with the baby, and I don't want to deal with the baby. If it's not about me, then I don't want to deal with her. So sad, so sad. So here's the thing. Why do so many women actually stay silent during all of this? And it's really because the world makes mothers feel so guilty for wanting more. Like I mentioned before, like being a mother, you are dragged to the mud. And it's like, why? Right? So you should really be grateful that you have a baby. You should be happy he didn't leave. You should be strong enough to do it alone. But being strong doesn't mean being silent, right? And being a mother doesn't mean being a martyr either. So too many women stay silent because they don't want to look ungrateful. They smile through the pain and they fake the joy for the sake of their children. But inside, they are screaming, right? They are mourning the partner that they thought that they actually had, including themselves, and also having to deal with a crying baby all at once, including healing healing their body, okay? And so that brings me to another thing of the loss of the identity, right? So after giving birth, so many women don't just lose sleep, they lose themselves. Like their body doesn't feel like their own anymore. Their routine is like non-existent, right? And their emotions are just everywhere. So instead of support, they meet their criticism. So right, instead of tenderness, they get tension. So they start to believe that maybe it is their fault. Maybe they should have done more. Maybe they should have just endured it. But you're not crazy for wanting to be loved while you're also healing. You're not crazy, for asking for too much. You're asking the wrong person. And unfortunately, we find out after having the damn baby, right? And then if you got the mother involved and the mother is enabling, child, good luck, okay? Good luck after that, because at this point, it's not going to work out if the mother is enabling his behavior and she's also criticizing you for being this mother, and you don't know what the hell you're doing. On top of that, you're being abused, you're hormonal, you're bleeding, and all these other things happening. Good luck, because honestly, it's at the point where you're going to be losing your sanity. So another part I want to talk about is that when a baby exposes the relationship, some women realize that they were never really loved. They were just tolerated or used or expected to perform. And the moment that they stop performing, it all falls apart. And the baby, it really didn't break up the relationship. It actually revealed it. It revealed the emotional distance, the lack of support, and the hidden resentment. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. You can't. Now, some women stay after they see it, but that's another story for another day. So what real love looks like after postpartum? It's really a quiet care. It is affirming words, and it is holding space without needing to fix you. Like real love would say, take your time, honey. Like, you're still so beautiful to me. Thank you for what you went through, right? And let me take care of you, right? Because let's be honest, giving birth is as close to dying. And I didn't know that until after I had mine. I was like, what? I mean, the pain was definitely on 1,000, but it's just really crazy that we are not taken care of the way that we actually should. So if you didn't get that, I'm sorry. And it's not because you wasn't worthy. It is because you was with someone who didn't know how to love, okay? So to the women who is watching this, if you saw yourself in any of these clips in any way, it don't even have to be that dramatic, but if you saw yourself in any of these clips, or if you have been quietly surviving something similar, like, please know this, you are not alone. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are a walking miracle. You deserve a partner who sees that, not just during the pretty moments, but when you're bleeding and crying and struggling, right? And your breast is leaking of milk, because if they can't show up when you need love the most, they never truly deserved you at all. You don't have to stay where your softness gets punished. You don't have to accept abuse because you share a child. Walk away, sis. You don't have to pretend everything is okay when you know that it's not. You know that it's not. And you're allowed to rest. You are allowed to rebuild. You are allowed to choose you too. Even after you had that baby, still choose you. And, still choose you. Like the girl did. She got up and she was like, I need to brush my hair. I need to do something with my hair. It's just a little bit a piece of you, because it was still you before you had the baby. So don't forget you. Don't lose you in the midst of all of that. Because the most powerful thing a woman can do after giving birth is not just surviving motherhood, but to survive the relationship that tried to destroy her in the process. So you are still worthy of joy. You are still worthy of love, and still worthy of being treated like a masterpiece. So what if you had kids? You are still worthy of love. Don't let society tell you that just because you are a mother of 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, and that, just because your baby daddy didn't want you, your ex-husband didn't want you, that no other man will want you. I'm telling you, things are turning. Men Don't care. If you are a good loving woman, they will take you in along with your children. Obviously, do your due diligence. You know, I prefer not to date, but I'm just saying, like, this, there are men who will love you, you know, and your children unconditionally. I know women who were raised by their stepfathers and they said that their stepfathers is the best thing that has ever happened to them. So don't let your ex-husband or the baby father say that nobody's going to want you after having this baby, because he's lying. He's lying, all right? And the next time someone tries to tell you to be quiet about your situation, tell them this, that my silence won't raise my children. My healing will, okay? So if you felt this, please send this to another woman, another rich babe who might be silently going through the same thing. Comment below if this opened your eyes or gave you the language for what you are experiencing, right? Or had experienced. And if nobody told you lately, you are sacred, you are not crazy, you are not alone. So, my loves, if you are not on the VIP email list, make sure that you are. All right, richmilanco.com. The link is down below. We have so many wonderful things happening this month. July 25th, the Rich Milan #1 perfume returns. All right, so I'm so excited about the perfume returning. You guys are y'all love it so much. Also, July the 27th, that whole weekend is going to be a lot of, it's going to be launching everything, right? The Rich Mindset Mastery course also drops. And of course, we have new blogs every Sunday and exclusive newsletters every other Friday. So sign up for the discounts, the updates, and everything else that goes along with it, okay? So become the woman who walks in the room and make people wonder. Secure the bag, protect your peace, and stay rich, rich babes. Love you.